Welcome back to KTTV.
Please rise for the national anthem.
Ooh, say, can you see?
Dun dun.
What is that for? What is that?
The bass. It's a remix.
Oh,
Call it Star Bangled Spanner. I don't. Never
no,
mind.
it's the Star Spangled Banger.
Oh, okay.
No this. You're listening to Know This, a podcast where two friends test each other on random trivia topics that we find interesting. Really, it's just us hanging out. But hey, maybe we'll learn a thing or two. Or for you listeners, maybe this will save you during one of these trivia nights. Well, I'm Jeremy.
I'm Clint.
So, Clint,
Yeah.
do you know what day is today?
Monday when our podcast comes out. Duh.
So, today is October 12th. Do you know what's special about today?
What? No.
No? Well, some people call it Columbus Day,
Oh,
but some people don't celebrate that.
most people don't celebrate that.
So, Clint, Christopher Columbus, know this?
I know a little of him, but I would like to forget about him. That's all I have to say about Christopher Columbus.
Salutations, Clint. How's it going?
It's good.
It's just good.
Oh, well, my mom critiqued me for our podcast. She told me to be more serious and to stop laughing. So for this episode, I will not be laughing anymore. I will be a clean cut, just straightforward, no laughing. So we'll see how this episode goes.
That's not even going to be you then, Clint. That's
No.
I don't even know who I'm going to be talking to anymore.
Yeah, my argument was it's a comedy podcast, Mom, but it didn't work. She told me to be more serious. I don't.
It's a two-person laugh track.
Yo, we have an audience, Mom. We have people laughing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. I'm so sorry, Mom.
But yo, hey, how's your test? How's your midterms?
God, I don't want to talk about it. Christopher Columbus, here we go.
Damn. Okay. Well, hopefully Christopher Columbus wasn't a curveball, especially because it's coming out on the national holiday.
This episode? Oh, yeah.
That's why I asked you what day it was today, man.
Oh, yeah, fans. We record on the day we release, guys. That's how great we are.
It is a live stream. Whoever's listening right now, this is going live.
Yeah,
You can't pause it. Try.
It's never edited.
Yeah, we don't edit. Everything we say is natural. Oh, those quick cuts? No, nothing.
No.
That break, we're actually going on a break every time.
Okay.
Because today is what formally is known as Columbus Day,
Yeah.
at least nationally still is, I thought we would make an episode about this holiday and about the person who it's dedicated towards. So, Clint, how much do you actually know about Christopher Columbus?
Well, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1490. Okay. I forget what the saying is. The 1400s. 14.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All you know? You can't look that stuff up, dude.
He was sent.
That's gonna be a question.
By the. Who was he sent by? Was he sent by Spain? No, that doesn't make sense. He was sent by some kingdom to look for stuff
somewhere, to do something, whatever.
And then he ended up in the Americas, but he didn't know that. He thought he was somewhere else. And then he was like, guys, let's get to this land. And then he brought famine and diseases to the native indigenous people. And that's why Christopher Columbus is a jerk. There you go.
Well, I mean, hey, I'd say in a broad term, or as broad as you basically made it, yeah, you're pretty much correct.
Thank you.
But before I get to the actual questions, I'm going to let you know exactly how our podcast is formed. In this podcast, I'll ask Clint a few questions about the topic, kind of like asking him about Christopher Columbus, and he'll try to answer without me giving him any hints to help him out. But once we figure out exactly how much he doesn't know, then it's time to drop some knowledge. So starting off some questioning, we'll go for a break. After the break, we'll come back with those answers so that, everyone gets to learn something. And after, to end it out, to round it all out, what's that thing that we're doing?
Review today.
Oh, and if you guys didn't know, if you're listening to our other episodes, I'm drinking Jeremy's Infinity Whiskey.
Oh, God.
So good.
It's 9 o'clock in the morning, y'all. So You good, Jamie?
Oh yeah, I forgot. This is a live stream, right?
Yeah, it tells you what kind of a state Jeremy's in.
Okay. Anyways, it's not about me today. It's about Christopher Columbus.
Uh-huh.
So our first question is going to be a little bit special. I'm actually going to do a little fill in the blank. So instead of me telling more information about Christopher, I'm going to do my intro about what he did and who he is by giving you some blanks to fill in. And that's going to be your first question, is to answer all these blanks.
Okay.
Okay. You ready for this?
Yes.
All right. For this fill in the blank, in the year, and then you say,
Oh, that's it? What year?
well, this is fill in the blank, just as to fill in it in.
What when that has to do with Mr. Columbus?
Yes.
What ring? 1492.
Okay. In the year 1492, Christopher Columbus set sail for Asia looking for
Hookers, no. Spices.
Okay, he went looking for spices.
We know that's
Commanding 3 ships named
oh
blank,
god.
blank, and blank.
Titanic, Titanic 2, Titanic 3.
Oh boys.
The Mayflower, the Voyager, and Asia.
Well, I'll make it easier. I'll give you a little context. Okay.
Yeah, please.
So, believing he had sailed through the Indian Ocean and perhaps landed in India, he instead actually landed in
America.
Can you be a little bit more
The
specific?
United States of America. The Boston Harbor.
Okay, what state you put in?
Massachusetts. The harbor.
Massachusetts. Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
Thus, he named the people he met here as Indians because he thought it was India. Hundreds of years later, on the year
1592. Oh, hundreds of years later. What did you say?
Not just 100, I said hundreds.
Oh, I don't know. 1996.
New York held the first Columbian Order to celebrate the first ever recorded unofficial Columbus Day. It wasn't until President Franklin D. Roosevelt, throwback to our other episode, proclaimed it as a national holiday in the year
45. Ooh.
Wait, you just said 1996.
Yeah, but you just said President FDR, and I know when he was president, it was not during the 90s. So
okay, yeah.
I'm changing 96 to 1845.
So it wasn't until what you say as 1945 when President Franklin D. Roosevelt proclaimed it as a national holiday, creating our first national Columbus Day. So that's our intro paragraph.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be longer.
I mean, it is 8 points that you had to guess.
Oh, ooh. That's it, right? That's it for the questions?
No, that's not it. That's our question number 1. Now, I wouldn't have guessed that you knew the last years, but kind of like what you were saying in the beginning, there is like a common tune in blank, 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 Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
It all rhyme? Oh, damn it.
So that was the stuff. I'm not all of it, but I know that the 3 ships actually rhyme too, kind of.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like once I say it, it might sound familiar.
So you're saying my 3 guesses are wrong?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you know. You got
50%.
You got the first 2 correct. Yeah, it wasn't 1492, and he was looking for spices because we all know there ain't no spices in Europe, man. It's a sad place. If you're looking for food,
all of Europe
ain't the place.
The UK don't have spices. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's true. But so I won't tell you the rest of it because we'll save that for the answer portion. But question number 2, many people in states have deemed that Christopher Columbus is not actually worthy to be celebrated. And understandably so. This is because he committed many disastrous deeds. Ooh, what a naughty boy. What has he done? What was the crimes or things that people usually say that Columbus did, and therefore he shouldn't be celebrated?
Mass genocide. He brought diseases and famine to the indigenous people of the Americas. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Did he also bring slaves? I'm not sure, but I'm just going to stick with the diseases and the mass genocide.
Okay. That makes sense. You know, those are pretty bad stuff. And why would we want to celebrate someone who did mass genocide and disease? So that kind of sucked. So these people don't want to call it Columbus Day anymore, but they usually give it a different name now. Can you name maybe an alternate name for Columbus Day? Maybe 2.
Indigenous People Day and Native American Day, I guess.
Okay. Native American Day.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
I would think like for the people that are not agreeing to celebrate it, they would want to celebrate the opposite of what they're celebrating Christopher Columbus for. So like, he discovered America, but he also destroyed lives of indigenous people. So it would make sense to
Okay.
celebrate indigenous people because they should be celebrated.
That's true. I don't know. Do we actually have a Indigenous People Day besides potentially Columbus Day? Like, do we have like how we have like Black History Month
Yes.
and things like that?
I don't
know if we
know.
have a whole
Month?
section.
I think we do have a Native American Heritage Month or something.
Oh, President Trump issued a proclamation designated November 2019 as National Native American Heritage Month.
Barely? My God.
Wow. So I guess it's pretty recent.
I guess so.
America's got a lot to catch up on, I guess.
Oh, so George H.W. declared it in 1990, but I guess it wasn't like, I have no idea.
It didn't become a national thing.
Maybe not.
Could make sense.
Hey,
I
that makes
understand
sense
now why you're kind of thinking that we should have an Indigenous Peoples Day instead of a Christopher Columbus Day.
Yes.
Instead of celebrating him, celebrate the people he hurt that aren't being, brought up, aren't being talked about as much. I agree with that. That sounds like a good answer. Good answer, Clint.
That's the end of our episode. Thank you guys for listening.
Well, not just quite. Because Columbus was also credited for other accomplishments.
Like what?
For a lot of historians and scientists, he's often credited as the person who started what's now known as the Columbian Exchange. Do you know what that is? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, the brand Columbia is when they trade their sweaters with another brand.
Yeah, that's what it is, huh?
Yeah, North Face. They'll be like, "Hey, man, you want to trade the designs and stuff?" And they're like, "Nah." And then they go to Patagonia, and then nah. I think it's like stocks. Is it something with stocks? I don't know. Exchange sounds like stocks to me.
What's the connection between Christopher Columbus and stocks? Tell me, please, because I'm not really getting that connection there.
Did he actually have to do with the actual country?
Okay, it's not named after Columbia. It's named after Christopher Columbus.
Oh, maybe
do you know what that might be?
Maybe a scientist gave him this recognition?
Kind of. Well, it's an exchange of goods between the old world and the new world. Basically, when a lot of goods were traded between the old world, which is often known as like Europe, Asia, and Africa, places that Europe knew about before the Americas, which is considered the New World. So any of like North America and South America, a lot of people didn't know about these countries or these continents. Yeah, so the Columbian Exchange is when like a lot of goods and spices and things like that got traded around the world. And often a lot of things that right now that we feel like, oh, we have these, didn't always originate from where we were.
Yes.
For example, horses in America, horses didn't originate from America. We didn't actually have that many horses.
Oh.
A lot of horses got transferred over to America from the ships that were brought over from Europe and the old world.
I guess. Thanks, Columbus, for horses. I don't.
One of the benefits is that they say like, oh, it's kind of a good thing because there's a lot more transfer of common goods now and a lot more trading around the world, which is this Columbian Exchange. A lot of scientists go through this because they're saying, oh, we have to study what the Columbian Exchange did and how it impacted the world. Because it's not always good things.
Yeah.
Because when people were traveling in the past, they didn't know they were bringing over all these foods and it was going to be invasive, or if it was going to bring disease, or if it would be helpful, whether it would bring more crops and things either. They didn't know.
Yep, that's why
these things just kind of happen.
I can't go through customs with a jackfruit in my luggage.
I mean, that's kind of the idea now. Nowadays, we can't do this. But before then, when there was none of these laws and stuff like that, this big exchange happened. Now, for question number 5, it's gonna be sort of
lightning round.
Not exactly. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna name something. For example, like me naming horse. You're gonna have to tell me whether it originated from the New World, from Americas, from the Old World, so from Europe, Asia, or Africa, or if it was always found in both of these continents.
Okay.
New World, Old World, and both.
Okay. No. I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you 7 things.
Ooh, all right.
Okay,
here we go.
You ready? What are your options, Clint?
New World, Old World, both.
Okay, ready? The almond.
Both.
That was so slow. You're just
I was thinking how California is the number one producer of almonds, and I was like, maybe they've already just had it this whole time. So,
Okay, number 2, cattle.
cattle,
Yeah.
uh, old world,
Okay, potatoes.
the Irish, potato. I'm gonna say old world.
Wait, we're gonna have to pause there. What accent is that again? Can you say it again?
I was, the Irish slapped potatoes, and they had a potato famine, and they're like,
No, 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 no. Say it the way you were saying it, huh?
they like potatoes.
Oh man, I do not think that is how
They actually
the
have
Irish said.
chips that are called potatoes.
Are you sure you're not trying to do like one of those really bad Italian accents?
No,
Because it sounds like you're saying the potatoes.
that's different. It's potatoes, potatoes.
It sounds pretty much the same to me, man. This is not a good accent for you.
I hope we don't lose our one Irish fan.
Okay, going on to our 4th one.
Okay.
Tomatoes.
New,
Okay, basil.
old. Damn, this is a really specific.
Vanilla.
New.
And chickenpox.
Oh, old.
All right. Now, I'm going to just put this out there. You thought tomatoes was a New World one? Okay. I'm not saying Italians didn't have tomatoes.
Oh,
but,
damn
man,
it.
their pizza's not going to be real nice without tomatoes.
Hey, all their pizzas were just made out of cheese. Nah, nothing with tomatoes. The Americans did the tomatoes. The tomatoes. Okay.
All righty then. Well, with that bad accents out of the way, Clint, I think it's time to go for a break.
Next episode should be accents. I'm going to host it. It's going to be great. Okay, break time.
All right, listeners, and we're back. How do you feel? How are you feeling?
You were supposed to ask me this before.
I know, I forgot. I know. This is my bad.
To be honest with you, Jeremy, I don't feel confident, but you know what? I don't care because I don't like Christopher Columbus. So,
Yeah.
that's my truth.
Yeah, okay. I can't argue with that. I also do not condone Christopher Columbus's disastrous deeds, but we're not on that question yet. We're going to first do the fill in the blank.
Okay.
So you first said 1492.
Yes.
You said spices. You said for the ships was the Mayflower, Voyager, and Asia. You said where he landed was the U.S. in Massachusetts.
Yes.
And hundreds of years later, you said New York held the first unofficial Columbus Day was in 1845 because you retconned it. And then you said FDR proclaimed 1945 was the first time they had the national holiday of Columbus Day.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do is read you the actual true Columbus facts.
Okay.
In the year 1492, ding, Christopher Columbus set sail for Asia looking for spices. Ding.
Why are you doing this ding for? I don't need it.
Because you're getting them correct, man. It's a ding because you got it correct. Good job.
Sorry. Keep going.
Okay. Commanding the 3 ships named Nina, Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Oh, okay. The Santa Maria I know of, but
the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
I know the Santa Maria.
You just say it all 3 really quickly. Is the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria.
Nina. Hey, why would you name whatever?
So he sailed on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Then he landed in the Bahamas.
What the hell?
Believing that he had sailed through the Indian Ocean and perhaps landing in India. Thus, he named the people here as Indians. Hundreds of years later, in 1792, New York held a Columbian order to celebrate the first recorded unofficial Columbus Day. 300 years later.
Okay. Wait, how did he go from the Bahamas to the United States? How did that happen?
He didn't go to the United States. He never actually got to the U.S.
Who found the U.S.?
We just consider that because he found the Americas, like all of America. He mainly actually found more of like South American kind of, or like Central American stuff. If you think about it, there's a reason why Massachusetts and all those don't sound Spanish.
Yeah.
All those sound more like UK and British because it was the British and the Mayflower and those colonies who landed there.
Okay.
They were the first people to really dictate that area as theirs after colonization.
Okay. All right.
you know,
All right.
taking away the rightful land of the Native Americans.
I know.
And there's a reason why Bahamas is more of a Spanish name. Yeah. And it's also why the Americas is more of a Spanish name too, because they were the famously European ones to find us.
Where is the Bahamas?
Even though we did kind of find out later that it seemed like besides the natives who were already here,
Yeah.
the Vikings landed in North America first.
Oh.
So actually Vikings were the first ones to I don't know, like besides the natives, Vikings are the first ones. So Columbus really doesn't even have that much to his name that we used to learn when we were younger.
Yeah.
At least I learned this when I was a kid, learning about the Nina Pinta Santa Maria, learning about Columbus Day and all that stuff. So to end it up, President FDR proclaimed it as a national holiday in 1937. So near the beginning of his presidency.
An Italian explorer named John was the one, he landed in North America. Okay. But that was in 1497.
Number 2, so we were talking about what Christopher Columbus actually did. So you said mass genocide, and he brought a whole lot of disease.
Yes.
So you are kind of correct. Kind of combining both of those, like in the Columbian Exchange, we didn't realize that, people who had never been in contact with other civilizations carry different diseases and different viruses and stuff like that. So when they transported them around, these diseases got spread. People didn't have the antibodies for that. So a lot of people were dying from very common illnesses that today we wouldn't even think were that bad.
But look at us now.
Well,
but anyways, let's move on.
So yeah, we had now found records recently of him bringing a bunch of disease and forcing a lot of native people into slavery when he first came here. So classic white power trying to bring people into slavery right as they get to a new place. Yeah. So he forced a lot of native people into slavery, and he was actually a governor of an island called Hispaniola. And while he was this governor, allegedly, we're pretty confident that he used torture as a form of punishment too. Of course. So because of that, a lot of people don't think he should be celebrated.
Hell no.
It makes sense, right?
No. I mean, yes, it makes sense.
Moving on to question.
No, we should not celebrate him. Okay, move on.
Yeah, it's true. I also agree.
I'm the maddest in this episode. This is the most angry I've ever been in our podcast.
Well, I think that's why we should do this episode. I think we should bring lights into some of the things that we know for sure that he has done, for some of the reasons why we feel like we shouldn't celebrate it as much, but still acknowledge that this happened and it's part of our history.
He's the worst.
He's the worst.
The worst.
And going back to Columbus Day, because people don't always call it Columbus Day anymore. Although it is kind of recent. I think it's like recently that different states now don't celebrate Columbus Day anymore, or they don't call it that. So there's at least like 13 states, I'll name a few, like Alaska, Hawaii, there's Washington, a lot of these other states. I know California hasn't officially done that yet, I don't think, but I believe a lot of big cities like San Francisco and LA don't call it Columbus Day, they call it Indigenous Peoples Day. So you were correct. South Dakota actually calls it Native American Day. So you got that correct.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you got that question 100% correct. I know. That was a good job.
Can we end the show now? That's it? That's all I need.
We're done. We're not done. We're halfway through that. Some other names are like First Peoples Day or Discoverers Day. So some Discoverers Day is kind of acknowledging kind of like, people discovering America, so it's kind of similar to like the feeling of Columbus Day without actually having to acknowledge Columbus himself. Yeah.
Screw that guy.
Yeah, actually something interesting that I did find out is that originally Columbus Day was created for the Spanish people. Does that make sense?
What?
I want to say Italians, but that sounds wrong now.
He is Italian.
He is?
Yeah. But he was sent by Spain?
Yeah. So I guess he was sent by Spain, but he's Italian.
Yeah, he's Italian. Oh, he's so ugly.
Yeah. So it seems like originally Columbus Day was created as more of like an Italian American Heritage Day. A lot of Italians, when they first came here, just like a lot of other people, they faced a lot of discrimination because they weren't the normal British people. They were immigrants just like us, and they wanted something to help give them pride. So Columbus Day became more of an Italian American Pride Day. So even now, there's a lot of parades that celebrate Italian pride. So I think San Francisco calls it that now instead of Columbus Day Parade.
Okay.
So that's kind of like the origin of it. So going back to our last questions, Columbus was credited for the Columbia Exchange. I told you what it was. It was that transfer of goods.
Mm-hmm.
And to our last question, the old world, the new world, or both? Now,
Oh, I'm ready.
okay. Almond, you said both. The answer was it's from the old world.
Freakity.
Yeah. So the almond, even though California produces the most of the world's almonds, it didn't originate here. So some of the things that we thought that was always here actually wasn't.
Interesting.
Also, I'm just going to let you know, spoilers, there was no both. I couldn't find any evidence of any food or goods that was found throughout the whole entire world.
Oh.
It looks like every single thing, all the fruits or all the items are always only found in one specific region. And then it's being transported to other places. And that's the only reason why, for example, the only reason why potatoes are grown throughout the whole world now,
Mm-hmm.
only because someone traveled over and like transported all these things.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay, so cattle, you said it was from the old world.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Oh, wow.
Got that one. So yeah, cattle did come. A lot of livestock came from
Old world.
From Europe.
Dang.
Yeah.
What did the Native Americans eat then?
They ate more of the wild stuff.
Like plants?
Well, they would eat that, but like, we did have like bison,
Oh, that's true.
or like Native Americans had
bison
other
burger,
stuff,
y'all,
too.
is top tier. If you haven't had
I don't
it,
know. It's not as good though. I don't think it's that good because it doesn't have all the good fats.
I like
It's too lean.
It's I think it's good. When you come and visit, I'm gonna take you to a good bison burger place where we have a good time.
Okay. I'm excited.
All right.
Okay. All right, potatoes. You said potatoes came from the old world.
Yeah, potatoes.
Irish. You're wrong, actually. Potatoes came from the New World.
Oh,
yeah. They came from America.
Wow.
They came from the Americas.
So we own potatoes? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they do.
So I looked it up. The Irish didn't originate with potatoes, even though that was like a big main source. The Irish didn't originally have that.
Oh.
And apparently you don't think Italians had tomatoes in their pizza either, because you said it was from the Americas. But you are correct. You were right, actually.
What? So was pizza not made until after the discovery of the Americas?
They had something that was considered pizza.
Yeah.
But it was mainly like, the white sauce pizzas or the cheese pizza, like where it was really just cheese on flatbread.
Wow.
I feel like the big round slices and all that stuff is more famous in New York.
Like America,
all that stuff. When you go back to Europe, you get more of the Sicilian style, more of just like a flatbread with toppings on it. So actually, pretty much tomatoes wasn't a thing back then.
Oh, why did you tell me that? I was like, oh yeah, I'm stupid.
I wanted to see your reaction.
Well, look at that. We own potatoes and tomatoes. Oh,
yeah.
We should have not shared.
Well, if we didn't share, we wouldn't have basil because, like what you said, it is from the old world.
Okay.
You were correct.
Well, we could have shared other things, just not potatoes and tomatoes.
So you're actually correct for the other one, too. Vanilla was from the New World, and chickenpox was from the Old World.
Yeah, player.
So vanilla, it kind of does sound a little.
It sounds like
exotic.
A New World thing, because like extract. I don't know. I just thought of that.
Yeah, I mean anything that gives flavor, that's from the New World.
True.
It's either from Asia or it's from the New World. Yeah, like.
I mean, I do.
Africa had spices too.
Yeah, they have a lot.
You know what? Everywhere except for freaking Europe.
I want to live in Europe now, but before I would have.
And chickenpox, yeah. So like you said, a lot of these diseases, they were brought over, killed off a bunch of natives. That's what happens.
Oh man, I wish the natives had some sort of disease to give to the whites, but
that would have been more interesting to see how that affected them.
You have chickenpox? Oh yeah, I have chlamydia.
According to Wikipedia, they did bring some other diseases over to Europe and things.
Yeah.
But it's not nearly as much as the diseases that Europe brought to the Americas. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Europe got the plague, but I don't think that came from. That was just them being dirty.
They had the plague over there already, and then they brought it over to the Americas. That's what they did.
That's okay.
Now, this one's not related to Christopher Columbus, but a little quick fast fact: what plant do vanilla come from?
Please, it's vanilla. It's like a little.
No, there's a specific types of plant.
I forget what it is, but they call it like it's like this little.
This plant that you already know. Everyone's heard of these plants.
We have.
I always forget. This is always one that trips me up too.
We've heard of this plant.
You know it.
It's a plant like
this family
it's not a
of
tree.
plants. Yeah, it's not a tree. It's a family of plants that you probably have heard of.
Poison oak.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, dude. That'd be some
right. That'd be stuff. That'd be a mind blow. Like, we get vanilla from this, but don't touch it. You're gonna regret it.
You don't want that raw vanilla.
I've always wanted to experience it though, like touching poison oak or poison ivy, just to like say, "Oh gosh, guys, don't touch that."
I kind of want to also.
That's never happened,
but it's not worth the pain.
I guess so. I mean, just like my finger, maybe like a little.
You don't want to do it on your finger, man. You rather do it like on a side or something.
In my elbow.
Fingers are so sensitive, dude. All your senses.
Oh, your nerves. Okay. All right.
Yeah. You don't want to do it where you have a lot of nerves because at that point it just hurts and stuff.
What plant comes? I have no idea.
So vanilla comes from the orchids.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I don't know if it's every single orchid,
but like a type of.
But I think the vanilla itself is an orchid.
Wow.
Yeah, like if you look it up, you'll see the orchid plants and you'll see vanillas coming out.
Oh, that's so cool.
Maybe I thought that was crazy too.
Can I just get like a vanilla plant or like an
Honestly,
orchid?
That'd be kind of interesting.
And that's my.
I'm wondering. Can you? Yeah, I feel like it might be harder. I think vanilla needs to grow in more like tropical conditions. But
okay, yeah, it's called the vanilla orchid. But can I just like have it in my house so that my house smells like vanilla?
Oh man, that'd be kind of fun.
Or do you need to like? Oh yeah, it does not bloom in low light conditions, so you need to. All right, never mind.
It doesn't sound like you're gonna be able to do it.
I cannot have a vanilla in my apartment, yo.
Well, that's the end of our podcast. All right, to round out the episode, Clint, you know what time it is.
It's review of the day. The day. So for this review of the day, what I'm gonna do is shout out podcasts that have shouted us out on social media.
Oh.
I want to shout out the Bad Dads Film Review podcast for giving us a shout out on Twitter. So if you guys haven't given them a listen, please go listen to Bad Dads Film Review.
It's some bad dads.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of dads that watch movies and kids TV programs, and they make a podcast about them. So that sounds cool.
That could have been something we would do too.
We're not dads. And secondly, we want to give a shout out to the Shock and Applaud podcast for giving us a shout out on Twitter. They give a podcast about like scene by scene analysis of some quirky films or strange films. So if you guys are into that, give that a listen. So shout out to those two podcasts. Listen to them. Tell your friends about them. Tell your friends about us. Yeah. That's my review of the day, basically.
Yeah. And if you want to shout out too, give us a listen, give us a shout out, give us some reviews.
Yeah.
And maybe you'll find yourself being talked about on our podcast.
Yeah. Maybe review of the day will become shout out of the day.
Okay, Clint. Hope you learned a lot from Christopher Columbus or known a lot about him. Now, take us home.
Well, I learned that I still hate him, so. But thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at KnowThisPod. Please rate and review our podcast. It really helps us out, and maybe you can get a shout out. And if you have any suggestions for topics or comments about our podcast, please email us at don'tknowthispodcast@gmail.com.
Cover art by Amy Hoffman. Music by Karthik Karakaran. Edited and produced by Clint Valencia and Jeremy Mack. See you next week.